get stuck here, the cops won't bother me. This one, this brake master cylinder doesn't have a glass up here, so it's actually in the back, which is kind of strange, I guess. Most of the time you have these oil level, the brake level here, the side glass, and you can see the color and everything. So on this one, on the Ninja 250, same thing. It's on this side. On the FJR, it's on the other side. And it's no big deal. You know, it doesn't make a lot of difference, because when you're doing maintenance, it's a little bit hard to see, sorry about that. When you're doing maintenance, you're actually kind of just walking around the bike, and I think that makes sense. You know, you don't need to have the oil side glass this way, so I don't know why Yamaha didn't put it this way, because they could have easily done that. But let's go ahead and remove this top cover. One of the issues with this is that oftentimes these screws are on so tight because brake servicing is usually not done very much. So you're going to have to be careful not to strip these. And yeah, I have stripped these and I had to rethread them. So it's really a terrible thing. You don't want that. Well, these came out very easily. And once in a while it's good to kind of just remove them. And sometimes there's even leaks that develop in the brake master cylinder. Now let's remove the top cover, and then this is that's a nice cover. Here's the diaphragm. Just make sure that when you remove it you don't get any oil on the bike. It's very dark oil. It's a different type of oil. It's probably an expensive oil that they put here. It's probably done not too long ago. To bleed the brakes, there is this little nipple here, and I think that's the only one on each brake caliper. So we're going to do this on one side and then the other side. There's a rubber boot, and you're going to just kind of push this out. And it fell somewhere. But anyway, it's out of the way. I'm going to untwist it. And there is a key. It helps to have multiple hands on this. It goes by faster, but I usually do it alone. So I'm going to get a wrench, untwist that. But first, 8mm, you're going to put it here. And then counterclockwise loosens, clockwise tightens. This one's actually a little bit loose. So if I undo it, it's going to be loose and liquid is going to be pouring out. So in order to take care of that, we have a loose or a hose here, and then you just put it on here. You're going to take maybe just a bottle that you've cut, and you're going to take it here, and you're going to make sure that this actually flows into that. Now I'm going to come to the bike, and I can't do this with only one hand, and you're going to push the brake, and as you push the brake you have to tighten it, and the liquid is going to be pouring out. And the key of this is to get all the bubbles from the master lines, from the lines, if there's any bubbles, and you're bleeding them, so you're going to get a much better feel. But this is a two-hand sort of job. So what you do is you loosen this, right, and you come up here, and then you push the brake slowly, and then liquid is going to be pouring from that. I'm going to go up to my brake, and I'm pushing it, and now I'm going to tighten this. And now it's tight. I am going to let go of the brake slowly. Now I'm going to loosen it, and I'm going to push it again, and you can see the liquid is coming out. Brake lever, tighten it, let go of the brake lever, loosen it, push it, tighten, and you're going to repeat this until all the oil comes out. Keep in mind, as you're doing this, this fluid is going to be going down, and it's already gone down with just 4 pumps of the brake lever. Right now my bolt is tight, so I can push this as much as I want, and you can see I already screwed up. It's already touching that, so I'm going to clean. Make sure you clean all of this residue, spray something on it if you can, because it will make a mess, and it helps to have something around your brake master reservoir to collect any of the fluid that comes out. Loosen, so you'll be pushing it slowly. Going to the other side and hold, tighten, let go of the brake lever. Again, loosen, push the brake lever and hold, and then shut it, let go of the brake lever. And then repeat, loosen, brake lever and hold, tighten. Once in a while, come and look at the brake master reservoir and make sure there's fluid. See, it's going down too much. Put some fluid on there. You know, at this point, I have plenty of fluid over here, and I don't see any more bubbles. So I'm going to remove the hose, and it might drip a bit. And just make sure that that's nice and tight. So we're going to clean all of this up. Tighten, let go of the brake lever, loosen, push the brake lever in and hold, and repeat this until all the bubbles are out of the hose. At this point, it looks clear, and one thing I realized is that the previous owner used a blue brake fluid, or bluish green, which was very dark. And the problem with that is that it just looks dirty to somebody that buys the bike that doesn't know the history. So when you look through the sight glass now, it is much cleaner, much clearer. And you know, I recommend just getting a lighter fluid if you have to get like a dark one. I think he wanted to match the color of the bike, but I think it's kind of silly because I just want the fluids to look clean. When they become dark, that's when I change them. Just kind of push it in. Once you have all of this, make sure that the writing is down. It doesn't really matter, but now we're going to put the bolts and just tighten that up. Alright, now let's tighten this. Some fluid might come out of the sides, but that's okay. Here. Make sure that you pump the brake several times, and this is going to get better. You might have to do this for a few minutes, but I guarantee that the braking on this is going to be improving so much. This is going to be quite the show. And then take your cloth to make sure that if there's any fluid that you see, that you clean it all out. And I'm going to give this bike a nice bath because I don't want anything to corrode. And make sure you push it in hard. Cleaning any fluid that it might have gotten in. And of course, all of this sort of stuff has to be clean. And the little rubber things put on. I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and tight. I don't want to. It doesn't have to be too tight, but very important to have. And then just clean up all of this. And it's going to be a brand new braking motorcycle. It's going to be great. Alright, here's the bike. I cleaned it all up. I haven't really ridden it because it is wet outside, but I wanted to start it up so we can hear it roar. Fantastic sounding bike. So that's how you do a brake bleed on a Yamaha FJR. Just make sure that you clean up all of this residue from your brake cleaning. So all of this needs to make sure that just go over the bolts, make sure everything is nice and tight. And then the next thing is just to go ride it.